Shamanic tools, what are they? They're attitudes. They can be that simple, or they can be practices, or some combination. These are the tools that help us get through life. Because look at our time. Like now, there's so much accelerated change, there's so much turmoil. I mean, everything is topsy-turvy, and boy, as we sometimes say, nowadays you gotta be as fast as God. Things are changing so fast. So amidst all this turmoil and change and uncertainty, I mean, look at the job situation and elections. I mean, my gosh. The good news is there are shamanic tools to help us plow through all this stuff. Not only to survive, but actually, do I dare say, you can actually enjoy the adventure of going through life. Even with all this changes, your attitude is so different. So what kind of attitude could that be? These are the shamanic tools. So let's say a very simple one is this, that we say a lot, but it's so powerful, so much universal application. So what is an example of a shamanic tool that's really usable? Here's one that's really simple. A warrior is a master of his or her own attention. Where do you put your attention is where things grow. So you really want to know what the attention is. So for example, it could be, let's say, when 9/11 happened. I happened to be in North Carolina teaching film directing, and all of a sudden 9/11, everybody was just shocked and a little dumbfounded, like, my gosh. And then one of the teachers say, oh, Fuding, with your shamanic stuff, like, gosh, what can you do about this? This is 9/11, nobody even heard of such a thing. Oh, it must be too big for shamanic tools. And I said, no, not at all. I mean, just off the top of my head, this horrible thing happened, yes. But the attitude we can take right off the bat is we may have no control over the madness of the world, but we have ultimate control of how we choose to react to it. Just that shifted everything. We don't have to be a victim completely. So if I know for myself, then actually talking with that teacher, then we say, like, if it gets you angry and bitter and revenge and all that, yes, it's understandable. Not that it serves us, but it's certainly understandable. But because of the shamanic tools, it can make us feel compassion at the craziness of the world, more inspired to do the good works that we are doing to kind of compensate for such craziness in the world. So just that shift makes it so that we look at the best opportunities out of this crazy situation instead of being just a victim and getting angry and bitter. So that it's so simple, and yet it really helped. Another one is, let's say, oh, here's a good one, a little more richer. If you wanted something and you didn't get it, I want my film to do this and this and that, and then it got thwarted. Oh, it used to just bum me out for weeks, if not months. But now, if I knew the moment it got thwarted, I got disappointment, does it go down to despair and then all that? Or what do you do? What's going on in my mind? And so now, since doing this practice and all this, first there's an emotional counterpart. Let's say I got thwarted. Oh, I feel depressed and so on. Then my thinking mind kicks in. Oh, see, my judge kicks in. Like typically it might be, see, I told you your script wasn't good enough. You should have done this and this and that. Like one time I actually gave a script to this really well-known producer, and she didn't answer for months. And I thought, oh no, I should have done this. The script wasn't good enough. Maybe she was too big for me. I just start going off on my own head. If I knew exactly what was happening in my own head now, in other words, my judge got kicked in and started putting me down, or my inner image felt really diminished. Oh, see, you'll never make it big, or whatever it says, etc. All these things. If I could see what happens, I would know that only a few places do I get hung up. The rest is normal, lots neutral. Some are actually beneficial, but I might have ignored it. But if I knew where this spot is, in other words, the landscape of your own psychological terrain, then you would find out, let's say we hear about ego. We know it's positive things, and we know a lot of it's negative things, and every wisdom tradition, East and West, talks about the ego being a big trap. Yes, it is. And yet we need one to be alive on the face of the earth. So what gives? How do we deal with that? If you had a map and you could see the territory of ego, what it is and what it isn't, wow, that helps a lot. Just like if you look at a map, oh, this is the Death Valley, this is the desert. If you go there in the summer, be ready, be prepared, otherwise skirt around it. You're prepared. Likewise, if you knew the psychological terrain, like why is the heart always in such a strategic position? Every wisdom tradition says, oh, come from your heart. Why? If you saw on the map how central it is, it can deal with the physical, it can deal with the spiritual, it can deal with everything. Wow, that's great to know. Or one more example, if you know where your inner demons hang out, there's only a few places they can't hang out. Let's say the judge and the victim are really huge. Judge not only judges everything in the world, but ourselves. The worst judge that does judgment it makes is against ourselves. Why aren't you more rich? Why aren't you more famous? Why aren't you more fat, more thin, more whatever? It's always beating ourselves. If you knew where where it hangs out, then you would be so much easier to deal with it. And so that would be a great tool if you knew the psychological terrain of your own psyche, which leads to the map of desire. So this is a book that does just that with enough text so you know what it is. And here's an example of a map. It's a bigger discussion, but just to give you an idea, for example. This map is called Challenges of Life. And you start seeing the territory of your own mind, the position of your heart. It can look over the reason side of us and also the intuitive side and so on. It gives you a visual image to back up all the text and so on. So that's like the map of desire. Now, along with this as a tool, shamanic tool, are practices, which is on the end. So these are very grounded, step-by-step practices that have proven powerful for centuries. And some of them are from Eastern thought and some are from Western thought. But what I really like I have a big background in Eastern thought, meditating in the Himalayas, etc., which I really love all that. But also a lot in Western thought, like Jungian thought and the Mesoamerica shamanic practices. There's a place where they all overlap. We're all humans with the same basic structure, just like we have 2 arms, 2 legs, 1 head. Same thing with our psyche. If you know how to deal with it, all those elements, wow, you'd be in such a great guidebook in order to maneuver through life. So that's what this is. It will have the practices and it has those pictures. Now, one final thing about a shamanic tool, one of the greatest, grandest ones, is Teotihuacan itself. It's 1.25 miles long. The whole thing has been set up so that you can find your true self. It's a big transformational journey for you to become from the citadel of hell, that's what it's called in the archaeological books and so on, all the way to the realms of heaven. That's the journey we're going, talking about in film terms, the character arc. Wow, that's a good one. And we go through it and we purge all the things that don't serve us until we're pure and pure into the heavenly realm. So Teotihuacan is the biggest shamanic tool that you can imagine. Whole thing was set up by this sage, commonly known as Smoky Mirror. Anyway, this great sage who set up the whole thing for transformation. There's the ultimate power tool, ultimate shamanic tool for finding out who you are, your true self. As we say, you are God, but you're dreaming that you're not. Wake up. Teotihuacan can help you wake up. Like I know for me, myself, like, wow, I've studied so much and I thought, do I need this? And then anyway, eventually I went. It completely broke me free. It so changed my life. Like I kind of half kiddingly say, if I died now, I die happy. I woke up. I just woke up and I see everything different. I woke up from what we call the dream of the planet, is a phrase we use. You woke up to what is real. What's truth and what's illusion. And it so changed my life that now what else is there to do? I even once kind of half jokingly said to Miguel, hey, Miguel, I think I'm ready to die. I mean, first of all, death doesn't even exist. And then I can help humankind as much from the other side as than from this side. But anyway, everything taken together, and said, well, might as well enjoy this life while it's here. I mean, it's so rich. And then with the shamanic tools, you're able to skirt the things that you're not happy about, and you go for the things that make you feel great. And there's so many wonders in this beautiful planet of ours, and people and love and all kinds of things, if we can stay away from the other parts. And so Teotihuacan helped me do that. It just woke me up. And so from now on, I'm dedicated, like with these books and lectures and whatever, to help spread the deepest wisdom to the widest number of people, just like people had done for me. And it's just a blessing to be able to do such things. So anyway, the opportunity is waiting for all of you. So I hope you come to Teotihuacan and experience it for yourself. It's all been set up just so you can find your own Godhood. So good luck.